All right, we're 11 on the dot here on my side, so we can start. Uh, Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Asia Pacific Stats Cafe series. My name is Sovana Rotte, Associate Statistician at the Statistics Division ESCAP, and your moderator for today's Stats Cafe, which focuses on Asia and the Pacific regional trends on forced displacement and statelessness. ESCAP is co-organizing today's Stats Cafe with our wonderful colleagues from the United Nations High Commissioners for Refugees, UNHCR, and we're delighted to have Ms. Karen Whiting, Head of Bureau Protection and Solutions Service from the Regional Bureau for Asia and the Pacific, UNHCR, here with us today to deliver some opening remarks. We're also pleased to have great speakers from UNHCR, the Department of Special Investigation of Thailand's Ministry of Justice, and Philippines Statistics Authority, who will share with us details and insights on the latest trends for forced displacement and statelessness, and also country efforts in ending statelessness and forced displacement by Thailand and the Philippines. We will start off today's Stats Cafe by with an opening remarks by Ms. Whiting, followed by presentations by our speakers, and then we end it off with the Q&A in the end. So without further ado, I would like to give the floor to Ms. Karen Whiting to deliver her opening remarks. Over to you, Karen.
Great, thank you so much, and thanks a lot to ESCAP for organizing this Stats Cafe, but also to all of the participants for their interest in statistics on forcibly displaced and stateless persons. So maybe just as background to sort of the scope of the report, UNHCR's Regional Bureau for Asia and the Pacific covers 45 countries, all the way from Central Asia to the Pacific Islands, which explains the scope and the countries covered by this report. This is an annual report that we generate as part of the Global Trends report that presents key statistics on forcibly displaced and stateless persons. And the statistics in the report are drawn from government sources, NGOs, and UNHCR. So this year, as you will see, as Chow will soon present to you, the total number of people who are forcibly displaced or stateless in the Asian Pacific region that UNHCR supports at the end of 2024 stood at 17.3 million individuals. This is a 10% increase from 2023 and is part of an unfortunate global trend where we continue to see the result of conflict and other natural disasters continuing to drive up the number of forcibly displaced persons. This year, as in previous years, the Asia Pacific Regional Trends Report focuses on the two major situations of forced displacement that we have in the region, so Afghanistan and Myanmar. This year, many of you will be aware that in the Afghan situation, we've seen large-scale returns, both from Iran and Pakistan, countries that have hosted Afghan refugees for decades, but who have begun campaigns of sort of forcing Afghans to return. So from the beginning of 2025 until the first week of September, we saw some 2.6 million Afghans return from both Pakistan and Iran. This is compounding a situation of, immense humanitarian needs and socioeconomic challenges inside Afghanistan. So really creating another emergency and a returns emergency. And this was, of course, then compounded by the earthquakes that we saw in Afghanistan at the beginning of September. So really a challenging situation. With the Myanmar situation, we continue to see, unfortunately, as a result of conflict inside Myanmar, continued displacement. So we will see in the statistics that Chow will present to you, one of the largest internal displacement crises in the world at the moment. So some 3.5 million internally displaced persons, but also some 1.5 million people forced across borders, including over 1.3 million inside the world's largest refugee settlement in Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh. We also know, for those of you who are in Bangkok or in the region, that we're coming, hopefully, to the end of the monsoon season, which means that we will be at the beginning of what we call here the sailing season. So where refugees and migrants begin to take dangerous journeys on unsafe boats in search of either safety or other opportunities. We have seen in recent years increasing numbers of people taking these dangerous journeys, and we continue to work with states and others to try to reduce the need for onward journeys and to find solutions for people. Before handing over to the presenters, I just want to acknowledge that we continue to have data gaps and weaknesses, especially for groups that are often underreported, such as refugees and stateless people. UNHCR continues to work with UN agencies and member states to include forcibly displaced and stateless people in national systems, including national statistics systems. So I want to thank especially the governments of Thailand and the Philippines, not only for attending as presenters today, but for sharing their good practices, which we hope will continue to contribute to reliable, timely, and comparable data for improving the well-being of vulnerable populations, such as the forcibly displaced and stateless. So I will now hand back over to colleagues for the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Whiting. We're now on to our next session, which is a presentation by Mr. Chao Huang, Statistics and Data Analysis Officer for the Regional Bureau for Asia and the Pacific, UNHCR. The floor is yours, Chao.
Thank you, Ross. Good morning or good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real pleasure to be here today to present to you the UNHCR Asia and the Pacific Regional Trend Report on Forced Displacement and Statelessness 2024. As Karen just mentioned, this is our flagship annual statistical report from the UNHCR Regional Bureau for Asia and the Pacific. Every year, we bring together the latest official data to show how displacement and statelessness are evolving across our region, such as who is affected, where they are, and what challenges they face. Let's start with a broad overview. By end of 2024, there were 17.3 million people UNHCR protects and assists across Asia and the Pacific. This includes 7.2 million refugees and asylum seekers, 6.9 million conflict-induced and internally displaced people, or IDP, and 2.5 million stateless people, some of whom were also displaced. And this is the highest number on record for our region. If we look back the past decade, the total number has almost doubled with a sharp rise after 2021. This shows us how displacement has become more prolonged, more complex, and more widespread in recent years. And when we disaggregate the data by age and sex, some striking patterns appear. Almost half of all of the displaced and stateless people are children. Just to put that in perspective, among the general population in the region, only about 27% are children. This means that millions of children are growing up away from home, away from stability, and often without access to basic rights, such as education, healthcare, or legal identity. So it's a reminder that displacement is not just about numbers, it's about real people, and especially about children. Geographically, the numbers are highly concentrated. 5 countries in Asia Pacific each host more than 1 million displaced people: Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. This tells us that a small number of countries are shouldering a very large share of responsibility, often while facing their own economic and social challenges. Let's now look at the refugees and people in a refugee-like situation. Afghanistan remains the largest country of origin for refugees from this region and the second largest worldwide. By the end of 2024, there were about 5.8 million Afghan refugees hosted in 104 countries. Myanmar is the second largest country of origin in Asia Pacific and sixth worldwide. We can also look at this through the SG indicator 1074, which measures the share of a country's population that has become refugees. By this measure, Afghanistan ranks first in the region, followed by Myanmar. This highlights how deeply the displacement is affecting the populations in those countries. On the other side, if we look at the countries of asylum, as of end 2024, Iran is the largest refugee hosting country in the entire world, with most of refugees from Afghanistan. One useful way to understand the pressure of a host country is to look at the number of refugees per 1,000 inhabitants. This shows how intense and the hosting burden can be, especially in the countries with smaller populations or limited resources. And Iran consistently ranks at the top in this measure in our region. Asylum seekers. Asylum seekers are people who have applied for international protection, but whose claims are still being decided. And here again, Afghanistan is the largest country of origin for asylum seekers from this region. According to UAA, Afghans are the second largest group of asylum applications in EU plus countries in 2024, just after Syrians. Let's now move on to internally displaced people, or IDP. People who flee their homes but remain within their own country's borders. UNHCR reports on the conflict in reduced displacement. There were, by end of 2024, there were 3.2 million in Afghanistan. And if we look at the data, if we look at the data beyond 2024, as of May 2025, there were 3.5 million IDPs in Myanmar. We refer to the Internal Displacement Monitoring Center, or IDMC, for disaster-related displacement. And the Asia Development Bank and IDMC estimate that 74% of all disaster-related displacement globally over the past decade occurred in Asia Pacific. This means our region is the epicenter of disaster-related displacement worldwide. And in places like Afghanistan and Myanmar, natural disasters often strike on top of conflict, creating multiple layers of vulnerability. Another challenge is statelessness. Our region is home to about 2.5 million stateless people, which is 58% of the global total. About 1.4 million are displaced stateless, while 1.1 million are non-displaced. The largest stateless populations live in Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, and Malaysia. Being stateless means lacking any legal nationality, and without it, people often cannot access education, healthcare, property, and even basic documentation like birth certificates. It creates a cycle of exclusion that can last for generations. There has been progress, though. In June 2025, all 62 member states of UNESCAP adopt a regional ministerial declaration on civil registration and vital statistics, or CRVS, with technical support from UNHCR. This declaration calls on states to ensure refugees, IDP, and stateless people can access civil registration services. It emphasizes data protection and privacy and promotes gender equality. These are critical steps to prevent and reduce statelessness. One major trend we observed beyond 2024 is the mass returns of Afghans from Iran and Pakistan in 2025. From the map, we can see during the first half of 2025, there is a significant rise for the returns from Iran and Pakistan, and the trends continue. By 10th of September, more than 2.6 million Afghans had returned, and nearly half are deported. UNHCR post-return monitoring shows very different outcomes for men and women among the returns. After return, men often manage to gradually improve their income and employment over time, but women face growing barriers, and their vulnerability actually increase after return. This shows just how fragile the reintegration can be, and why we urgently need targeted development support to help returnees rebuild their lives, especially for women and girls, so that no one is left behind. I'd like to mention a key part of our work going forward, the panoramic or route-based approach. This approach means looking at the entire routes that people take instead of treating movements as isolated events. For example, people fleeing Myanmar often use both overland and maritime routes. These journeys are usually irregular, dangerous, and unpredictable. Our data show routes in the map passing through India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, Malaysia, and beyond. And similarly, the Southwest Asian route from Afghanistan through Pakistan and Iran and then onwards to Europe sees mixed movements of refugees and migrants. These onward and mixed movements pose complex challenges for the people making the journey, for the governments managing borders and protection systems, and for the communities in countries of origin, transit, and destination. This is why UNHCR is promoting this panoramic or route-based approach to have all of the stakeholders to plan more coordinated and effective response along the routes. And one final point before I close, we often say that what gets counted counts. And that's especially true for displaced and stateless people. There are already international statistical standards for refugees, IDP, and stateless people. And these standards give clear guidance on how to include these populations in national statistical systems. The statistical inclusion is essential because if people are not included in the data, they risk being invisible in laws, policies, budgets, and services. We encourage all the countries in the region to integrate forcibly displaced and stateless people into their national systems so that their needs and contributions are recognized and addressed. I'll stop here. Thank you very much for your attention and for your commitments and efforts to supporting displaced and stateless people across Asia Pacific.
Thank you very much, Shah, for that very insightful presentation. I would now like to hand over the floor to Mr. Gan Siri Singha, Special Case Officer from the Bureau of Justice Enhancement Affairs, Department of Special Investigation, Thailand's Ministry of Justice, to deliver his presentation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ro. Good morning, everyone. I'm starting with my slide. Okay, first, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Gan Siri Singh from Department of Special Investigation, Ministry of Justice in Thailand. I have a quick 7 agenda to sharing some experiences about the solving the problem of stateless in Thailand. The first one I would like to introduce the authorities of our MOJ, Ministry of Justice. I would like to recognize that MOJ, we have no authority to authorize any status or nationality, but we have the primary missions about delivering justice, reducing inequality, creating social justice, and also bring the justice to the people in another area of the Thailand. So my organization, DSI, is the organization under MOJ. We have a diversity of the authority, but also we have the missions about collaboration and integration by the mission of the MOJ too. The policies of our MOJ, we have the primary policies as bring justice to the people in remote areas, to promote legal fairness. And also we have the plan of our DSI team to be integrated with all sectors, such as government agencies and also NGOs, to set the team that we call integration team to solving this problem. Okay. This one show us about general challenge of the stateless people in Thailand. We have the lack of documents problem, lack of witness confirming about the place of birth, document conflict, and also lack of opportunity to access the rights, because rural area, social status, and also institution. And this one is the primary problem also is limited number of the officers, about rotation of the duties, diversity of responsibilities, and also human resources and budget. So we have any concept and approach for bringing the justice to the communities. Besides thinking, the concept of public participation, the theory of the organization development, and also proactive working mindset. And we use the approach for integrated approach, creating new work, we call collaborative network, human resources and budget, and also planning division of the duties. By the policy, we have to the cabinet resolution. The first one in January 2024, the cabinet assigned MOJ to coordinate and solving this problem with MOI, or Minister of Justice, to support any duties to solving this problem together. And also the second one in October 2024, the cabinet resolution to consider status two groups of the people in Thailand. The first one is the who have immigrated to the kingdom for a long time, and the second one is two groups of children who born in the kingdom. Around reduce the time to consider the nationality or status in two groups more quick and more efficiency. Okay. And this one show that we have a process to turning the policy into actionable results. We have 4 processes by design thinking concept. And this one show how integration team work. The left box is contain organization under MOJ, DSI, the LPT, CIFS, and also Department of Child. We design work patterns in each area, set the responsibilities, organize the document, and define related persons. And also the CIFS, we have the authority to support DNA testing for free of charge in case it's necessary to use it. And also MOJ, we have a screening team and interviewing team to support the MOI. And the right box, we contain international organizations and NGOs such as UN, UNHCR, IOM, UNICEF, or ADRA, and any NGOs. This NGO part, they survey the target group of the people and coordinate between target groups and related agencies, and also support some budget support. We work together and support MOI by Department of Provincial Administration or by the cabinet resolution that I said. We call this we we call integration team by the MOJ. Okay. This show about case studies of our successful implementation. This one is Kanchanaburi province. In 83 cases. Interviewing, we support the budget. This one is in Majap, Chiang Mai province. It's also Chiang Mai province in Phang district. About the G student, 340 cases. This here is the Kaeng Krachan district in Phetchaburi province. It's also 300 cases. This one is Mang group, and now is in Chiang Saen district in the north of Thailand, Chiang Rai provinces. This one is southern of the Thailand in Banang Star district in Yala province. In a group of ethnic, we call Orang Asli or Mani group. This one in Mae Suai, Chiang Mai province, the north of Thailand. So Chiang Mai also. And this one is the ceremony present identity cards with my partner, like international organization, with our Minister of Justice. Okay. This one is the operation in last year, in budget year. I have around 6 area that we cooperation together. In Chiang Rai, Ubon Ratchathani, Bangkok, Phetchaburi, Kanchanaburi, and also Pattani. In each group, we have the integration team together in each area. So cover the G code of student group and ethnic groups. We move to this. Okay, this is the summary of statistic information. In 2021 to 2023, we have 1,500 cases. We move to 2024. We have 3,700 cases, and now 2025, we increase the cases to the 20,000 cases. So this statistic show that the number who can enter into legal proceedings according to the laws in each group, that MOJ and integration team, we find solve together for the solving of the statelessness in Thailand. So, but we have some policy recommendations in the short term and long term. In short term, I think we have to increase mobile units like in integration team to each area, and enhancing training for field personnel, and also strengthen partnerships with NGOs and community organizations. Develop digital tools for case tracking and communication for the by the organization, and for sure reduce regulatory restrictions that impede cooperation between agencies. such as different department of the ministry and the long-term policy recommendations. Promote solving the problem of statelessness as a national agenda. Develop cooperation mechanism between government and agencies, civil society, and NGOs to be more concrete and increase. Also, introduce systemic reforms to simplify legal processes. And the last one is promote regional cooperation to address cross-border issues. Okay, I'm ending my slide with some William G. Stone quote. So justice delayed is justice denied. That MOJ, we have to do that to bring the justice to the people in any area. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Siri Singha, for that very interesting presentation. I hope everyone have come away from that with some inspiration for your work as well. And last but not least, I would like to invite Ms. Marisa Grande, Assistant National Statistician, Philippine Statistics Authority, to deliver her presentation. Ms. Grande, you have the floor.
Thank you, Ruth, and good morning, everyone. So I'm sharing to you the Philippines initiative on forcibly displaced and stateless persons. So here's my outline of my presentation. I'll provide the legal framework, background.
Sorry, Marisa, just 1 second. I think Shirley needs to still share her screen. And because at the moment we still see, at least on my screen, we still see the other slide at the moment.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yep. We can see it now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so here are my outline. I'll provide the background as to the legal framework of our initiative, and then this will be followed by the National Action Plan 5 on the ongoing CRVS projects and programs. The NAP number 7 on the inclusion of internally displaced persons and stateless in the community-based monitoring system, and I will be concluding with the ways forward as the outline of my presentation. So the National Action Plan to end statelessness in the Philippines is guided by this legal framework. So as you can see, it's a combination of our Getting Everyone in the Picture initiative and leaving no one behind. So we have a strong political commitment as shown in the presidential proclamation by former President Aquino in 2015 with the CRVS decade, declaring it as a CRVS decade. We are also the first country and the only country in Southeast Asia to accede in the 1961 stateless conventions. So in 2017, we've launched our National Action Plan to end statelessness through the leadership of the Department of Justice. And among our accomplishments is the enactment of RA 11767, or we call it the Founding Recognition and Protection Act, fulfilling our state obligation under Article 2 of 1961 Convention. So under this law, a foundling is considered a Filipino citizen. So there are other guidelines that were issued by our National Statistician and Civil Registrar General through the Philippine Statistics Authority. such as these are the recent one, the Republic Act 11767, the administrative process of adoption, the registration of a foundling, the revised process, and also those revised guidelines for undocumented Filipinos in Sabah and abroad, and also the latest flagship project of the PSA, which is the Birth Registration Assistance Project. So these three are our CRVS programs or projects under the National Action Plan number 5, which is ensuring birth registration for the prevention of statelessness, led by our national statistician, Dr. Dennis Mapa. So we launched a BRAP program. This is a government project in 2022, targeting 2 million unregistered Filipinos belonging to the indigenous people, the Muslim, and the poorest sector. We relaxed the requirements because these are the specialized groups. They don't have documentary requirements for delayed registration and lack processing fees. So we also waive delayed registration fees in partnership with the local government unit. So for now, we already registered for 451,000 Filipinos out of the 2 million target. And another one is the inclusion of the refugees and stateless persons in the National Identification System. So we piloted this with the Department of Justice in June of 2024. And as of now, we have already registered around 138 refugees and stateless persons as registered alien in the Philippines. The third one is under this National Action Plan number 5 is the ensuring the birth registration of the persons at risk of stateless, or we call it PAROS. And I'll discuss you the 5 groups in the next slide. So these are the 5 groups of PAROS that we focus under this birth registration program with the Department of Justice and also with the facilitation of the UNHCR Philippines and some partners of the Interagency Steering Committee on the National Action Plan to End Statelessness in the Philippines. So in the context of the Philippines, groups identified as PAROS include those unregistered children, children of Filipino descent in migration situations, especially those in Sabah, persons of Indonesian descent residing in southern Mindanao, and the Sama Bajau populations, those that were residing mostly in BARM. So these groups face statelessness due to factors such as the lack of birth registration, difficulty in proving the legal connection to any state, and inadequate access to civil registration services. So together with the government agencies in the Interagency Steering Committee, these 5 PAROS groups are being monitored for registration. In partnership with the local civil registrars, we conduct mobile registration activities to reach out geographically isolated and disadvantaged communities. Okay. And then parallel to this actual birth registration, we also conduct advocacy sessions within the community to ensure that Sama Bajaus and unregistered children, including their families, value the importance of birth documents. So for now, the foundlings were deleted as part of the PAROS because of the enactment of the Foundling Recognition and the Protection Act. For the next slide, this is the data of the forcibly displaced and stateless persons and those at risk in the Philippines as of June 2025. For the refugees, according to the UNHCR Philippines, we have already 1,031 that includes 7 stateless refugees, Rohingyas, and asylum seekers, 1,624, and stateless around 17. The PAROS, based on the 2010 Census of Population, we have Sama Bajaus, 118,877, but we have already registered some of them we have covered in the birth registration programs. And for the internally displaced persons, this is the data as of 2024, around 123,000 people are IDPs. Okay, so for the National Action Plan to End Statelessness, number 7, which the DOJ and the Department of Justice and the Philippine Statistics Authority leads, this is particularly in improving the quantitative and qualitative data on the stateless populations. The PSA included internally displaced persons in stateless variables in the community-based monitoring system. So by virtue of this Republic Act 11315, otherwise known as the Community-Based Monitoring System Act, this was signed into law on April 17, 2019. The Philippine Statistics Authority is mandated to implement the CBMS through the Community-Based Statistics Service Office of the Census and Technical Coordination Office. So the IRR, the implementing rules and regulations, was signed by our national statistician, Dr. Claire Dennis Mapa, on May 20 of 2020. Sorry. Next slide. So what is this community-based monitoring system? So this is an organized technology-based system of collecting, processing, and validating necessary disaggregated data that may be used for local planning, program implementation, and also impact monitoring, while empowering our communities to participate in the process. So these are involved generation of data at the city municipal level, which serves as a basis in targeting households for government programs that is geared towards poverty alleviation and economic development. So this is CBMS data is also used for monitoring those belonging to the poor and non-poor households of the Department of Social Welfare and Development. So the statistical activity is being conducted by the Philippine Statistics Authority. The CBMS entails a census of the households undertaken by the local government unit with the participation of the community using an accelerated poverty profiling systems in the data. So the PSA serve as the lead agency in the implementation of the CBMS. Next slide, please. Previous. So this is conducted, the CBMS is conducted every 3 years nationwide. This is a regular and synchronized collection that is mandated by RA 11315 to provide an updated disaggregated data for planning and poverty analysis at the city municipal level. However, our local government units, the city municipal level, have also the option to conduct data collection at a shorter intervals at their own expense for specific needs. But at the national level, we do conduct mandatory 3 years nationwide collection. So for the objective at the local level, it will aid for the targeting beneficiaries of government social protection programs. It is also a comprehensive poverty analysis and needs prioritization. It will provide us design appropriate policies and interventions and monitoring impact of government programs over time. So in the 2020 CBMS and the PopSen, Census of Population, we have gathered a question particularly on the citizenship with these variables. So this is not, this is the first time that we have used these variables to capture the stateless persons in the 2024 CBMS. So this is part of our commitment also to capture where are these stateless persons so that we can also respond to the needs of these also as part of our commitment to the EGRIS. Okay, so then another question that is included as a variable in the 2024 CBMS is on the internally displaced persons. A question on a reason for migration in the past 12 months between July 1 of 2023 to June 30 of 2024. Did the household member move here from one place to that household for the following reasons? So this is also the first time that we included this in the questionnaire for the CBMS, particularly to gather data on the internally displaced person. So right now we are processing. The CBSS team is ongoing validation prior to the release of the data. But we have already released in July the census counts up to the barangay or the village level. Okay, so that's the current status of our 2024 CBMS undertaking with regards to the forcibly displaced and stateless persons. And on our ways forward, since the data is ongoing validation, we will soon release the IDPs and stateless persons. So we are also waiting for this as we are committed to provide updates to our stakeholders on this statistical data. We are also active in collaboration with Congress for the amendment of Act 3753. There's already a filed bill on a comprehensive and responsive CRVS law bill in the 20th Congress. So we've identified the champion, which is Congressman Edong Chuan. And of course, as part of our commitment to intensify the civil registration campaign, particularly on birth and death registration in the BARM and also in the GIDA areas. So right now we're working for the pilot implementation of the ECRVS and gearing towards the full integration of our CRVS in the national ID system in the 2026 to 2027 year. On the second and the third year. And lastly is to also improve our data for undocumented Filipinos abroad to better respond to their needs. I think this is the last slide, and thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to share with you the initiative of the Philippines on forcibly displaced and stateless person. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Grande. We now move on to the Q&A session, so please do raise your hand and ask questions or type them in the chat box while I put the sort of slide back up. So give me 1 second. Just to say that I'm very much looking forward to the findings from CBMS on statelessness and forcibly displaced person as well. Okay, it should be up. Let me just move to the slide correctly. Yep. Okay. I think, sorry, my screen is not showing up well. Okay. Yeah, colleagues, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask any of our speakers. More than happy to take questions either in the form of text, or if you can raise your hand, we'll give you the floor as well. I guess while you're thinking of the questions, I do have a couple that I wanted to ask, particularly our country counterparts in the Philippines and in Thailand. You have very interesting and very impactful initiative that you've implementing. So I wanted to make sure that participants here can have some very good takeaway that can stick with them in the initiative as well. So if you can, please do share with us if you can if you just want to share one lesson with the participants here, what would be one major turning point or key initiative that essentially kickstarted your effort in your country to ending statelessness and forced displacement? I know it's quite broad, but I'm sure that there is one major turning point that you just think, okay, this is where we're going with our initiative. So I guess maybe we'll start with Marissa, and then we'll move to Mr. Gunn afterward. Hello? Am I still? I think we've lost Marissa. While we're waiting for Marissa to sort that out, perhaps we move to Mr. Gunn first. So again, the question is, if you have to share one lesson, what would be the one major turning point or key initiative that has kickstarted Thailand's effort to ending statelessness and forced displacement?
Thank you, Mr. Ron. As I said in presentation, I think the one problem of the Thailand is the problem of the officer. I mean some diversity and rotation of the officer, and also the number of the officer who have the authority about to consider about the nationality or status. We have a few and restriction of the officer in the Ministry of MOI. So this problem we in MOJ or another ministry, we have also set the team for support them to reduce the time or process to consider or put the people to the process quickly, more quick than the MOI by themselves. So about the cases, I think in the north of the Thailand, we have the mass of the people who waiting for the cure in the process. I think in the north of Thailand, MOJ team as a integration team, we have the role, the key role to join with the MOI district office to solve this problem. I think it's the key of the teamwork organization. This process makes the process is quick or we call more efficiency than they work by themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gunn. So that's a very good point. Essentially, just to recap, that will be having sufficient human resources and very good coordination with the relevant ministries and stakeholders in order to, ensure or kickstart the any key initiative. Okay, we have Marissa back. So Marissa, would you like to give this one a go?
Yeah, my apologies a while ago, Ruth.
No worries.
So for the Philippines, I think there's the collaboration of the interagency steering committee for the monitoring of all these commitments of the government is very important. And also in the case of the PSA, we have a strong leadership that is providing us a guide for achieving our targets. And I think the partnership also with development partners now, they have this synchronized proposals. Not before, like, it's not like before when another agency will provide this support to another project, and then another one is doing another project. So for now, I think the ESCAP has in a way synchronized development partners to support the leaving no one behind and the getting everyone in the picture in one area. So we're doing that synergy, and we are also happy that the government is supporting our birth registration programs now. They see the importance of the strong CRVS system where we get quality data. The budget that is being provided to us. But what we're lacking now is really the approval amendment of our bill to fully implement the change that we need in more improving our CRBS system in the country. But we have this strong collaboration partnership, not only with the government, but with also with different partners like UNHCR, the other partners like Bloomberg, etc. So this, I think, has helped us uh, to smoothen the process of setting our goals and achieving step by step the targets of our goals for the ending the statelessness. And also in the Philippines, I'd like to share that even embassies abroad are taking their steps in supporting our initiatives for birth registration programs, such as the, for example, Japan Embassy for the Japanese descendants. So I think these are best practices in our country that can be seen also in some other parts maybe. And I think those are key points that they can learn from our Philippine CRBS also, and also with our initiative on taking for the forced displacement and statelessness.
Thank you very much, Marisa. That's very comprehensive. If I could summarize, I hope I'm doing it right. Interagency collaboration, and that's including collaboration with embassies abroad as well for birth registration, for civil registration abroad, is key. Coordination among partners, more integrated, coordinated, support from partners to the government is also very much welcome. Strong leadership by key figures, including Dr. Mapa for PSA. And finally, sufficient funding support are main sort of drivers. So thank you very much for sharing that. We have a hand from Mr. Gunn. Do you have a question or something that you would like to add?
I would like to agree with Marisa in about the international organization. I think the international organization is the very important part that makes the process in the solving this process more effective, because we have some data and budget from I mean supporting data and supporting budget from the international organization to move on this topic. So I think in Thailand we have the duty for find some way to coordinate or cooperation with the international organization closer and we have to solve this problem together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gunn. That's great to hear. And of course, we have wonderful support from our very good partner here, UNHCR, and then other partners working in this space as well. And I also should thank Marissa for thanking our Get in the Picture initiative, which is under the Asia Pacific CRVS decade. Glad to hear that it helped the Philippines with your work, and I would assume with Thailand and other countries in the region as well. We have a hand from Chow. Chow, you have the floor.
Thank you, Ross. And also thank you very much, Ms. Gang and Marisa, for your insights. I just want to echo the points the two speakers just made, like the collaboration. I'm a statistician, and I want to highlight one point from the statistical and data perspective, which is a statistical inclusion, because that is essential and also start point for figuring out a solution for the forcibly displaced and stateless people. So if any country wants to take the initiatives to include the forcibly displaced and stateless people in their national censuses, national surveys, CRVS system, or any other administrative systems, UNHCR is here to help. We'll work together with our other UN agencies, with the development partners, NGOs, and of course the government of the member states and all of the stakeholders to start. For the statistical inclusion, not limited to the primary data collection, secondary data review, establishing the system and provide guidance, and also organizing capacity building events. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chow, for adding to that. You're one step ahead of me. I was going to ask if you have anything to add on the key turning point questions and statistical inclusion. Yes, that's very key as well. Good to have facts and data to support your initiative. And as Chow mentioned, for anyone interested in support on that, UNHCR is here, to help you. Last chance for any questions, I believe. And if you have questions following this Stats Cafe, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to connect you with the speakers as well, if time permit. All right. I think we can end the Stats Cafe a little bit early. We've come to the end of our Stats Cafe for today. So I would like to just thank our speakers, Chow from UNHCR, Mr. Siri Singha from Thailand, and Ms. Marisa Grande from the Philippines, who have shared your insights and inspiration to our participants here. I hope everyone has learned a great deal from our speakers. For more information on the work that they're doing, we'll share the slide on our website. You can go ahead and visit getinthepicture.org to learn more, and we also will share it on our ESCAP Stats Cafe website as well. We do encourage you, if you're interested in CRVS development in Asia Pacific more broadly, please do sign up for our CRVS Insights newsletter. You can do that by scanning the QR code or going to the link in the slide here in front of you. You can also find more information on CRVS work, not only by ESCAP, of course, but by our good colleagues here in the Philippines, in Thailand, and also by our partners as well, by visiting our getinthepicture.org website. So in the future, we hope to see you all for another round of our Stats Cafe series, and that will take place on the 22nd of September, and it will be focusing on a different topic. This time it's on AI and the future of National Statistics Office. So please, if you're interested in that, please do register. And we hope to see you all there. Until then, have a wonderful week ahead. And thanks again to all our speakers. I hope you have a great day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much.